me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross it, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, lots of blood and gore. Always wanting more, freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it worth their party. And if you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you let scars rip. You be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Voice of Reason. Yeah, it's been a rough week. Donald Trump has been in office for just over a week now, and it has been a disaster on a scale that even Mike and I did not predict. And we've had some extreme predictions on this show. And honestly, I hate to say it, and I don't like admitting this, but we've been almost spot on about the Nazi stuff, the Elon Musk stuff, Project 2025. We don't.
Like, we're not like, woo, we're smart. Yeah, listen to us. We just looked at what was in front of us and tried to explain it.
And, Mike and I have been pretty good at reading between the lines. The only thing we were very off on was the Democrats doing something about it. I have heard that there is supposed to be, and I thought it was supposed to come out today, an international report from NATO regarding election interference, international election interference. So we may have some big news here in the near future. Let me tell
you, on that's actually funny, right? Because it's not just today that the international community has been speaking out against Musk's interference in their elections.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that with Germany. He mentioned something about England, and we just saw South Korea basically charge their former president because he declared martial law for no reason. Right. They kicked him out. They stormed the gates. And we're like, nah, we'll let this former scumbag who tried to take over the country and is a convicted felon, we'll just let him dismantle our entire country right now.
I'm telling you,
the whole world is standing up to dictators, and we're like, nah, it's fine. Everything will be fine.
Right. Yeah. So he started off the week with a slew of executive orders, and he just ended the week by freezing all funding on most federal social programs, food stamps, Medicaid, Head Start, I'm sure, like WIC, stuff like that.
Breakfast for children. How about Medicaid? How about one of my favorites? We'll pull up a slide later. Veterans. Remember when you ignored the fact that he called people who were in the military suckers and losers? He's proven it through his executive orders.
So and I'm devastated because I am poor. Yes, Mike and I have a podcast, and yes, we are monetized, but we haven't made any money on this yet, basically. Not enough to make a living, obviously. So
it's clearly not why we do it in these times.
I don't have fucking insurance at the moment is what I'm saying. I'm a single parent, okay? A single father who's trying to get his life together at 47 years old. Yes, I've had to rely on government assistance. Donald Trump just took food off of my fucking table.
Yep.
And I told myself I wasn't going to swear, but Donald Trump literally just took food off of my table, food out of my kids' mouths. My daughter is disabled. She's on disability. She's probably going to lose that. And I looked it up. 41 million people in America rely on some sort of food assistance, food stamps. 41 million people, predominantly in Trump states.
White people, not the black people or the brown people, or the people that you can't tell the difference if they're native people or not. No. Right. White poor people are the largest beneficiary of all government assistance programs. That's not even an exaggeration. It's not even close. So now, even though a federal judge has put a halt to the implementation of those freezes, as of today, the reason we knew about it, because it's not like the Trump administration is telling us anything, that tuberculosis outbreak, that's the biggest one in the state history or United States history.
Yep.
We had to find this out because people were like, hey, my Medicaid payment isn't working. My account is frozen. That's how we found out.
I had to call a buddy of mine. Well, you texted me today. That's how I found out. Mike texted me today while I was at work. I had to pull over because I deliver for Amazon. Don't get me started on that. It's one of the few jobs I could find that it's decent pay in my area. I live in a small community. I had to pull over because I was so furious. I was ready to crash out and start smashing people's packages, man. I was furious.
And this
Not
is from a
just
guy
for
who
me.
stops and pets people's dogs, and he was going to start throwing shit.
I mean, seriously, and I'm not a violent person, and I have a temper, yes, but
who doesn't?
Jesus Christ! Today, my blood was boiling, man. I thought I was gonna snap out. I actually called my boss. I'm like, look, man, I gotta take a few minutes because
this is what's happening across America right now. We are being flooded with examples of people, MAGA voters, who are like, "Oh wow, they just took my wife," or "Where's my Medicare?" or "Oh crap, that's a Nazi guy that saluted."
Yeah,
like. All of what's happening now is not just a shock and awe tactic, is not just meant to terrify us, confuse us, make us paralyzed with fear, but it's actually the core point. They are implementing Project 2025. They are becoming fascist. Donald Trump is making illegal executive orders. He just fired attorneys general, several of them, and they were like, you literally can't fire. Inspector General, you literally cannot fire us.
And the reason he wants to fire them is they're responsible for making sure there's no fraud, waste, and abuse within departments.
Isn't that supposed to be Dodge's responsibility?
Yeah. He's also tanked the economy. I mean, everybody's seeing through the facade. Okay, this whole starting with the TikTok ban and everybody migrating over to Red Note, like people in China saw how people in America were living. Like the whole, the shell has been broken. People see through all the bullshit now. They see that we are just
the joke
slave
is,
labor force
the
for
joke
billionaires.
Is, why do you guys eat like you have health care? That was
literally
a comment. Or is it true that Americans have to pay for ambulances? Yes, it is true because we have allowed this country to become an oligarchy way before Donald Trump. The mechanism was there. Okay, when people started accepting that corporations are people and have rights, and that billionaires have rights to make more billions at the cost of everyone's life, liberty, and happiness, we became an oligarchy long ago. It just semi-functioned, and now it is being thrust upon us. And like he's chopping everything so that his buddies can get privatized this, privatize that.
Right. And these are illegal moves. He cannot do this because these funds were already approved by Congress. It's not like we're asking for more money for food stamps and like basic social programs to help Americans out. These are approved funds. And he's like, nah, this is just like the Mexico deal where they came up with a bipartisan border deal and Donald Trump's the one who fucked it up and shot it down. I'm so tired of this. And you know what? This grocery shit, I have a video I want to show you real quick. This is a TikTok video I found. And these people, they turn their duets and their stitches off so you can't make a video, but they're dumb, so they don't realize you can just screen record shit now. So, all right, so grocery prices was like the big thing. All right. So we're not even gonna talk about eggs. Actually, Mike.
Wait.
I think
Hold
you may
on.
have a slide on the.
I gotta tell you, I am deeply proud of this. I don't know why, but for some reason it makes me really happy. But not the price of eggs, because to be fair, let's just call this campaign promise number one broken on day one. These are headlines from everywhere. Egg costs predicted to rise in 2025, despite Vance saying prices are going to come down. Egg prices may rise as much as 20% by the end of the year, say experts. Eggs may be expensive forever. Egg prices may reach record high this year, despite Trump's promise to lower food costs. Egg prices are high. They will likely go higher. You know why? Jesus. Because aside from the bird flu that the CDC is not telling anyone about, that is about to euthanize 100,000 ducks on a farm like miles away from where I live that no one's talking about, by the way, there's no reporting on what's going on. We don't know anything anymore. They're not telling us anything.
Right.
Complete blackout. So the whole thing with eggs, right? Like, that's not just the only reason that the price is going up. Remember how Kamala Harris, a candidate for president, you might remember, mentioned something called price gouging?
Yeah, wow. She was actually going to fight against price gouging.
I wonder if it's because rich people realize they can just milk the shit out of us. And we have no protection because the government is being deconstructed every day before our eyes.
Right. They are running Hitler's playbook. Do not be mistaken. Stop tiptoeing around it. We are dealing with Nazis. Okay, they idolize. Okay, the main group that Hitler targeted first was trans people. Before anybody else was trans people, then it ended up being Jewish people. Okay, what is MAGA doing? Trans people, Hispanic people. And let me just point out this whole, because we're going to get into the whole deportation that costs like $8,000
Oh
a person.
Oh my God.
Okay, just imagine if the plane was a boat, okay? White people taking brown people, shackling them to the fucking boat, and putting them in a country that they didn't want to go to. What does that sound like? What does that sound like?
Wait a minute. You know what else is interesting about that thought? Holy shit. I don't know if you have the clip, and I should have made a slide. He actually says that he wants to outsource the holding of our prisoners, of our inmates. He actually said it would be cheaper to have other countries house our inmates. So now he's just shuffling people around in prisons. Now, is he just pissing off the prison industrial complex? Because they're like, whoa, we were happy to work on this and get government contracts to house people. Now he's just like, we'll send people over there. Who's going to take our prisoners? What country would you want to send any human to that would be like, yeah, you want to pay us to house your prisoners? I don't think that's a good idea.
I can guarantee they're not. I guarantee people are going to be in concentration camps. And you know how I guarantee it? Two states. Let's not even talk about Texas building private prisons. 2 states have proposed life in prison. Life in prison if you come into this country illegally for trespassing. Life in fucking... God damn it, I keep swearing. Life in prison for trespassing. It's so bad. Canada is actually allowing people to seek asylum. And I'm actually, honestly, I'm not lying. I'm thinking about going. If this gets as bad as we think it's going to get.
If you went right now, I'm going to tell you what would happen. And I feel bad about this, but I feel like I need to break it to you. If you go there, the minute they accept your asylum and you're in there and you're nice and safe and they're setting you up with a nice new life, a job, healthcare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something will happen and Canada will become the 51st state. And it'll all be ripped away from you.
You gotta be kidding me, man. All right, so back to this video. All right, so we're talking about egg prices. Remember, MAGA, one of the big talking points was groceries are so expensive. So I found this idiot doing a video with her kid eating some Trump cereal that they bought and are selling now.
For what,
I swear to God,
$16 a box? Dude.
More.
Wait, do you know?
Just watch the video. You're going to freak out. All right, remember, low prices. And now they're buying shit like this.
And we are eating our Trump cereal right now. And it's actually really good. What'd you say it tastes like? Kind of, I don't know, it's like cinnamony. It's
graham cracker.
Graham crackery. There you go. That's the flavor. It's really good. So if y'all want this cereal box, that's pretty badass. And it
$25, y'all.
Oh my God, dude! I don't get my 30 pebbles when they're more than like $3.
They are buying $25 knockoff Cinnamon Toast Crunch with Donald Trump's face on it.
That cereal is probably made in China. Like, actually,
I mean, okay, so you know what? While we're talking about Trump supporters, I came across this guy too.
Tax and shipping.
I know, plus
that was a tiny box. Well, it's like, he has tiny hands. You can't pick up a big box for breakfast.
Right? They give him like 6 ounces. They give him those little hotel boxes of cereal that you get. And he's like, oh, this is a big box. Okay, anyway, I found this guy too. And just you'll see I put the word that this is who we lost to. This is idiotic. This is driving me crazy. Here we go.
For the left, I'm glad stupidity is not contagious, and you are some of the dumbest motherfuckers. Bless your hearts.
I'm so glad stupidity. Stupidity. I can't even say it. Stupidity.
Yo, you know what's funny is stupidity is going to be a theme today. And I'll tell you why. Like, I'm gonna dive into something quick. We're gonna get slightly dark for 1 second. I promise. 1 second only. You may have heard that Donald Trump, as one of his first acts as president in the first week, released 1,500 or so January 6 felons that stormed our Capitol or participated in it.
Yeah.
People that were in jail for 20 years, 30 years, that were big sentences.
Real quick, I don't want to hear shit about Hunter Biden. I don't want to hear shit about Hunter Biden from here on out. If I ever hear that name again, I'm going to freak out.
It doesn't count, by the way. I'm only counting the F-bombs. Anyway, okay. So we got this genius. Indiana man pardoned for January 6 crimes, killed resisting arrest during armed traffic stop. Matthew Huddle, 42, recently pardoned by Trump for his crimes on the January 6th. That's a weird way to phrase that. Was shot and killed allegedly resisting arrest during a traffic stop. He was armed. See, what's fascinating is none of these people understand how laws work. Some of them believe that when they were pardoned, that means they are like pardoned for life from any criminal activity. Some of them are just freaking criminals. So they're like, guess I got to go back to crime and I'm not in jail anymore. So like it gets worse because remember, Donald Trump is a man of law and order. And especially more than anything, he's got to stop the pedophiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. A Houston man who was pardoned for his role on January 6th at the Capitol is wanted by authorities. 36-year-old Andrew Taaki, or who cares, is wanted for online solicitation of a minor.
Yeah.
So, ironically, I don't even know if that's the right word, but it tracks that Donald Trump and anyone involved in getting these people pardoned didn't look at who these people are and go, wow, you're a piece of shit. Maybe we shouldn't pardon you.
Don't be surprised, y'all, if you see the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys in the White House. Do not be shocked, okay?
Well, they'll probably run security for his first State of the Union.
Right. I feel like he wants these people because he wants like a private militia, like almost like a state security.
That's his first little SS group.
His little brown shirts or whatever. So, it's a nightmare. This is truly like worst case scenario. I think. I don't know how much worse. You know what? This is funny. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I have to bring this up. It has nothing to do with Trump, but Marjorie Taylor Greene has requested NASA. I'm gonna have a hard time saying this. She is what?
Thank you, Sheldon.
Marjorie Taylor Greene wants NASA to prove space is real. I'm not even fucking kidding
that's real.
me. I asked
my God.
2 different AIs and looked up online, and it's real. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants NASA to do a PowerPoint presentation on that to prove to her.
I have a better way to do that. Wait a minute.
The same lady who did a hearing on black market baby organ sales.
Wait a minute. I just thought of something. Didn't she accuse Biden of using Jewish space lasers?
Yes.
But I thought, if
this space isn't real, where are the space lasers at? Where are all Elon Musk's satellites?
Musk. See, now Elon Musk can do a service for the people because since he is in the business of blowing up spaceships, he could give Marjorie Taylor Greene, since they all work together, a little business trip up into space to see it for itself. I personally trust an Elon Musk rocket to take Marjorie Taylor Greene to space.
Please,
I fully endorse that.
Yep. What do they call it? A rapid unscheduled assembly or something when it explodes? Never mind. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Right. Unscheduled deconstruction. Unscheduled repackaging.
Fancy term for the shit blew up and just wasted $100 million. All right, so let me get into some because I want people to understand that the other countries are with us, the American people. They hate Trump. Trump has alienated all of our allies, initiated trade wars with now Colombia as well.
I got some stuff for that.
Tariffs on everybody. That's his answer for everything. Tariffs.
You
I'm going to put a tariff on you. Right. He still doesn't know what a tariff is, and he's president of the United States. That's kind of terrifying. But I want to play this clip of Germany protesting. They're protesting the AfD party, the party that Elon Musk supports. We have a video of Elon Musk speaking at an AfD rally.
German Nazi party.
Right, the new German Nazi party. Can we just call them the Republican Nazi Party?
Yes.
Why are we even sugarcoating?
Hey, there's no fact checking. We could call them whatever we want.
Right. They're literally the opposite of the definition of conservative. They are extremists. They are religious zealots. Okay, but Germany is with the American people because they know what fascism is. They know what the Nazis did. But here's like 100,000 Germans, and they're singing this amazing, beautiful song that I'm sure a lot of people have heard, whether it's in movies or whatever, but it's called Bella Ciao. And just so everybody gets a little history on the song itself, if I can find my slide, Bella Ciao is an Italian song dedicated to the partisans of the Italian resistance, which fought against the occupying troops, Germany, and the collaboratist fascist forces during the liberation of Italy. It was based on a folk song of the late 19th century sung by female workers in the paddy fields of northern Italy in protest against harsh working conditions. Versions of Bella Ciao continue to be sung worldwide as a hymn of the resistance.
Wow. It's funny, Americans have no freaking clue that that's even a thing because we learn nothing about the rest of the world.
I played this on I made a video of this on TikTok, and it was actually really well received because people are not, we're being censored. We are being censored. We are not seeing the overwhelming amount of support we have from other countries. Donald Trump nobody's coming to help us. But at the same time, the people, I think they just understand what we're going through. And this is not just happening in the United States. Elon Musk is going for apparently world domination.
Look, the oligarchy, the broligarchy, as many have called it already, is making its power play. If you have America, you have the largest, most powerful military on the planet. You have all the money, sway to do whatever you want. And if you can take down the U.S. by destroying their democracy, you can have the whole planet.
Look up a word. It's called technocracy.
Oh, is that the one where
I made a slide about it? Listen. There's this thing called technocracy. It was originally founded by Elon Musk's grandfather. He was one of the people that founded it. They believed that like engineers and scientists and high status males should rule the world. And look what's happening right now. All the tech giants, right? All the tech giants and people that own tech companies. Most of these people have never built anything a day in their life. But
it's a creepy rich white guy cult. It's creepy.
It is. So
I think their sperm is sacred.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So here's. I just want to show you the video of the Germans and just look at what they're doing. A peaceful protest too. Completely peaceful, just singing a song in unison, 100,000 people. I mean, I don't know. I felt pretty good after watching that, knowing that they don't hate the American people. They hate MAGA as much as we do.
Holy shit. I don't know if I've ever told this story, but I'm going to tell it because you just hit on something that something profound that I got to experience on the other side of the planet. I was in Egypt for work. It was an amazing experience. And in this ancient market called the Khan Khalili market, it's like thousands of years old. We were talking to some stall vendors, and they could tell we were obviously a little hesitant because they could tell we're Americans. So everyone in America thinks everyone in there is probably trying to kill us. We didn't feel that way, but they feel they had to disarm us in that way. And he was like, no, people, this governments fight people. We're good. I bought a ton of shit from that guy. I don't care if he was playing me up, but it's true though, because in general, the people around the world have always wanted the same thing: freedom to live their lives without bothering anyone else. And that's it. No one grows up going, I want a yacht, because unless you're taught that rich people get yachts, you don't give a shit. You know what you're growing up thinking? I want maybe a family, maybe some animals, a little piece of land, and maybe I'll write a book. I don't know. But the point is we don't all want greed and suffering to be the norm. And when you see places around the world that are marching in the streets, not just for their own democracies, for their own issues, for their own rights, but for America, people do care because people know how important it is. And people are seeing how absolutely batshit insane it's getting. And they're like, wow, if it could get that bad there, imagine what can happen in my country. But so you want to talk about, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I was going to say what's going to happen is they're going to start working behind our back. They're going to cut America out.
Yep.
They're going to realize that they don't need us. They don't. We're consumers. That's all they need us for. Is we are the largest consumers in the world. We buy shit. That's why they need us.
We tend to.
Yeah, we really don't provide much of a service to the rest of the world.
Well, you want to see an example of no one knowing what's really going on anymore thanks to what they're doing to our media? The whole thing about Colombia, the trade war. We'll get into that a little bit more, but what the world is seeing is that Colombia stood up to Trump. What's being reported is that Colombia caved. So here's a great little message on Blue Sky that explains it. Colombia, we are not taking shackled detainees returned on military flights. Transport them with dignity. Trump, trade war. Colombia, okay. Trump, fine. No more shackled detainees returned on military flights. Colombia, good. Was that so hard? Trump, they gave in. That's literally what happened. People are not understanding. It wasn't about sending them there. They were like, all right, we'll take them. But they didn't. And here's where it gets double douchey. Trump wants the optics of these big military, giant, I have a small winky wink planes flying into other countries to drop off detainees. Well, guess what?
Right.
It cost $800,000 for that flight of that big, giant, unnecessary plane for 80 people. They could have chartered a flight for about $15,000 for the same amount of people.
Private jet.
Okay, they spent about $8,000. They basically spent the price of a business class ticket, round trip ticket to another country for each prisoner to get deported for optics. That doesn't sound very efficient to me.
Right, and they just fly them all Delta. I mean,
and all of our news media, if you look, and I should have made a slide of it, all of the United States media, mainstream media, is saying that Trump won, Colombia caved. It's not what happened. But we don't have journalism in America anymore. We barely have the ability to reach out to anyone. We don't know how long that's going to last. That's not fatalistic because he's turning off shit. He's
TikTok's
literally flipping the switch.
TikTok's gonna. TikTok is banned. TikTok is still banned. The people that can't. The reason that people, when they deleted it, the reason they can't download it again is because it's still banned on the App Store. That's why the app is all glitchy and shit now, because there's no app support. There's no updates on the App Store. That's what they do. They don't just ban the app. They ban it on the App Store so you can't get it. So eventually the app just stops working. But yeah, it's just, this is a nightmare. But let me go. All right, so let's get back to this. Denmark is now preparing for war with us. I'm not fucking kidding.
That's
Denmark is preparing for war with the United States because of Trump's idiotic claims of it. Apparently, he threw a little childish, toddler-like fit when he didn't get his way when he called the Danish prime minister, and she told him, I can't remember, a man or woman, I think it's a woman, told him to shove his head up his ass. But then he's also gotten responses from people within the parliament like this. I'll play this video. This one, I love this guy.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland have been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, f*** off.
Like, they're not afraid of him, man.
That man is every American that isn't up MAGA's asshole or up Trump's asshole. Someone's asshole is involved. It's Trump. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on a little bit to Elon Musk. Actually, no. You know what? Let me. I forgot the slide that I made. After Donald Trump claimed that he won this whole Colombia debacle, he posted, this is so embarrassing. He posted this on Truth Social. An AI picture of him looking like a 1960s or 50s gangster with that payphone in the back. Oh my God. It's like having a toddler in the White House. This is insanity. But anyway, let's move on to Elon Musk. Because, what you saw is what you saw. People, MAGA can try and deny it all they want. They can try to rationalize it all they want. I even have a video, if there are any MAGAs watching. Normally there isn't. Well, maybe occasionally there is. If there are, I have one that shows some actual Nazis doing the salute and Elon Musk doing the salute. So you could just stop with this dumbass shit. It was a Roman salute.
Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that it is what it is. That's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with actual Nazis, not just in America, but worldwide. Because Elon Musk has taken this. It's like he's trying to fulfill some kind of dystopian legacy or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You know why? And I didn't always understand this, but I get it. White men have a tendency to think that their genetics are this cosmic gift that must be protected and upheld and just spread across the universe. Yep. It's disgusting for some reason. And then when you give them the most money on the planet and all the political power, they start doing really dumb shit. We're at that point now because, like, I don't see another argument.
Another thing the Nazis believed in, and Mike and I we should do an episode on this again because we have talked about it before, is eugenics. Ooh, which is
one of my favorite topics.
Donald Trump has talked about it. He calls it the racehorse theory. You've heard him say the racehorse theory. Fast horse breeds fast horses, whatever. He's talking about, breeding genetically superior people is what eugenics in a nutshell is. But we should probably cover that again in the near future.
Well, we should do that because they have trouble even understanding basic biology. Yeah.
So the next video I want to play is Elon Musk speaking via Zoom or whatever that he uses. I don't have a clue anymore. I feel old. But here's him speaking at an AFD rally or whatever. Again, the new Nazi party in Germany, telling them they should not be ashamed of their heritage on Holocaust Remembrance Day. Let that sink in for a second. Here's Der Fuhrer, Elon Musk. Oh, I also heard that him and Donald Trump are tiffing. That could be interesting in the near future, too. We called that one.
I'm very excited for the AfD, and I think you are really the best hope for Germany. I think some things that something I think that is just very important is that people take pride in Germany and being German. This is very important. It's okay to be proud to be German. This is a very important principle, it's okay, it's good to be proud of German culture, German values, and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything. I think there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, or even let alone their parents, their great-grandparents, maybe.
Yeah, wasn't playing for you. Apparently the video wasn't playing for Mike. But anyway, hopefully you guys heard it. As a German, okay, my mom was born and raised in Germany. She didn't meet my father until she was like 31 years old when he was stationed over there. Yes, you should take pride in being a German. There's nothing wrong with taking pride in being a German, but you don't take pride in the worst crime against humanity, possibly in human history. I mean, killing 6 million Jews in just a few years alone is pretty bad. That's not even including the people that died fighting against the Nazis.
Well, let me tell you what people don't like to talk about is it's hard to say this because people don't want to think of it this way, but there was some intelligence, not moral intelligence, in what Nazi scientists were doing. But if you know anything about Joseph Mengele, who was the Nazi doctor that did very bad things, when he disappeared, there are places in Brazil that for some reason keep making blonde-haired, blue-eyed twins in South America. Like, he did things before they even knew that, like, DNA existed. My point is, okay, because it seems like a tangent, but it isn't. The idea of eugenics is central to the concept of what Hitler was doing, because it was, okay, we could scapegoat these people to get control, but he was trying to build this Aryan race, this perfect, pristine human, okay?
Yeah.
And Donald Trump subscribes to that. Elon Musk subscribes to that. White supremacists subscribe to that. So you see where this is going. You get the billionaires that believe in the superiority of the white male. Again, it sounds conspiratorial, but is it? Because it's not like there's no evidence of this anywhere. But I don't know.
It's pathetic is what it is. I think people that feel superior because their skin color are some of the most ignorant people. I mean, they are the most ignorant people on the planet. How could you possibly think you're better than somebody? You know what I mean? Just because of your skin color.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
When science actually explains skin color in the most simplest terms.
You from place with sun, more dark.
Yes.
You from place not sun, light.
Right, exactly. People that live near the equator where it's hot, darker skin. Obviously. Sun, lots of sun, hot. I mean, you move to colder weather, you don't need that kind of protection as much. So, yeah, that's what happened. It's real easy. But these people seem to think that they're genetically superior. And, you know, I mean, there's a guy sitting at home right now with his gut hanging out with a stained up wife beater, missing half his teeth, thinking that he's superior because he's white.
Well, Donald Trump thinks he's genius because his uncle taught at MIT.
I know. Oh, my
God. Meanwhile, we're talking about people that don't understand basic science. Some of the executive orders, if you don't know, Donald Trump declared that males are how about this? Let me phrase it this way. A female is the being born or conceived that has the large reproductive cell, and the male is, when conceived, has the small reproductive cell. The problem is that male characteristics don't show up for a few weeks, so everyone is born female. So technically, Donald Trump's executive order makes us all women, but this is meant to erase trans existence. He declared there's only two sexes. Trump's executive order directs federal agencies to exclude transgender people when enforcing laws that protect against sex discrimination. But the Supreme Court found that discrimination against transgender people is a form of sex discrimination. The order also instructs the Department of Health and Human Services to ignore the Prison Rape Elimination Act and force transgender prison inmates to be placed based on sex assigned at birth. Now, if you've never seen this before, this might be shocking. You don't know which fetus is a human fetus. You don't. No. Which one is it? Because technically, according to that executive order, we're all what's on the left until someone staples some truck nuts on us and we become boys. But guess what? One of those images is of a human fetus. The rest are of other mammals.
Right?
Sorry. This is about erasing transgender identity. And guess what? I forgot what state it is. I don't remember. But there's already been a direct call on the Supreme Court to overturn the Marriage Equality Act. So guess what? First, they came for the transgenders. I did nothing. Then they came for the LGBTQ. I did nothing. Guess what's going to come after that? Interracial marriage. See where this is headed when you think that white supremacy is some guiding force by God? That's what this is all about, people. I'm sorry.
Right.
Money
I found
and
out
nonsense.
later. Yeah, I found out later the underlying purpose of that executive order is to declare life at conception. This is the first step in their national abortion ban.
There it is.
That Trump said he wouldn't do.
Well, it's up to the states, and if the states want it.
Right. Mike Johnson's giddy about this. But yeah, so we're all women, and they're going to do a national abortion ban. I'm an ugly-ass woman, too. Jesus Christ.
I don't think I have what it takes to be a woman. Women endure far more than I could imagine.
Yeah. They have to deal with us. So that should tell you that right there. All right, so let's move on to Donald Trump. Bloated piece of shit. Anyway, he went to visit California for the wildfires, and I have some clips of this because this is utterly embarrassing and it's insane. But there was a moment of this that really made me smile, and it was when Gavin Newsom met Donald Trump on the tarmac. Donald Trump was avoiding Gavin Newsom's phone calls, would not speak with him, and Gavin Newsom found out where he was going to be and just showed up to confront him. And Mike,
someone's campaigning.
Yeah. I have the video of them initially greeting, and I've slowed down a couple parts of this. The handshake, Donald Trump tries to pull away from the handshake 3 times. And Gavin Newsom as a man, I used to be in business. You know what I mean? I used to actually make money for a living. But in business, like a handshake like that, if a man does that to you, they're pulling a power move on you, man. I'm telling you. And then Melania, who will not lean in for a kiss with Donald Trump.
She wore a hat to prevent.
Right. Very affectionately leans in towards Gavin Newsom. So I managed to slow a couple pieces of this down, but the handshake is the best part. Watch this. One. 2. 3.
That is amazing. And Trump, he just can't keep his eyes on him. He starts looking around and fidgeting. Who's the beta and who's the alpha?
Down, man. Totally back down.
Who's the one that's talking in the other's face?
Here comes the kiss.
Right on there. There was skin. She did not kiss him with any skin contact when he became the president of the frickin' United States. And she's like, this Gavin Newsom guy, wow. He just made you look like a fool, and I don't think Melania likes anything better than someone making her husband look a fool. Justin Trudeau.
I'm telling you, man. See, I over the years in sales and stuff, I used to study like body language and stuff like that. Trump's body language was somebody that was just defeated. He just shaking his head like he was talking all that shit about Gavin Newsom and posting like a big tough guy on the internet. When Gavin Newsom confronts you face to face, you're like, yeah, come on, buddy. And tap him on the shoulder. Come on, buddy. Let's go over to the press and talk to the press. Yep. And then when he talks to the press, he acts like everything's cool. Like completely back down. Like a little bitch. Anyway.
Real beta cuck, as they say. I guess. I don't know what
So then he speaks to the press regarding the wildfires. And he sounds like... I did a TikTok video on this where I just read the transcript of this one video. And here's him explaining how trees are loaded with, I don't even know. Let me just play this and we'll just laugh. It's funny.
It's almost like liquid gold, but not as good.
Right.
Get it. The trees were okay because the trees are loaded with water. They suck that water out of the ground. And this was an inferno, just like, I would say no different than this. And it was also the wind that caused a lot of problem. I mean, you had tremendous winds that there's not a lot you're going to do with. You had up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's unheard of. But when I was in Paradise, I noticed that the trees, they were dark on the bottom, but they were absolutely living, and they lived because they're soaking wet. But the trees that were on the ground, within 12 to 18 months, they say 18 months at a maximum, you have to cut them up, take them away because they're matchsticks. But we saw that. You saw that with me. I commented at the time. I said, look at this. The house is burned down and the tree is standing and it's...
What the fuck? The trees just suck the water out of the ground. Okay, Bill Nye, the science guy, what are you talking about?
All right,
What are you
so
talking
on
about?
that same subject, Donald Trump, the perpetual liar that he is, posted this. The United States military just entered the great state of California and, under emergency powers, which, by the way, he didn't declare, turned on the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California. And in reality, the actual California Department Water Authority, the military did not enter California. The federal government restarted the federal water pumps after they were offline for maintenance for 3 days. State water supplies in Southern California remain plentiful.
Right. And that post, just so you know, when he's talking about all that water flowing in, it rained. It rained a lot. Donald Trump took credit for fucking rain.
Yvonne just commented that.
Rain. Donald Trump's like, thanks to me and my emergency powers, I'm God, and I sent rain to California. Thanks to almighty Trump. What is going on in this country? Like, is this really what our reality is going to be? Because I'm going to lose my mind. This is beyond insane. But I have another montage of him talking about water. Because he likes talking about water. I don't know what it is. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. You elected an idiot.
He folds like old clothes when Obama's around.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he'll talk a lot of shit.
Man,
he's a armchair tough guy. He talks a lot of shit behind the scenes, but when it comes time to put up, he's nothing, man. He's a weakling.
Los Angeles, I'm trying to work on the fires. They ought to do some forest management a little bit, maybe. Ridiculous. The floors of the forest, it's got 20 years of leaves and trees that are dry as a bone, matchsticks. Los Angeles has massive amounts of water available to it. All they have to do is turn the valve, and that's the valve coming back from and down from the Pacific Northwest, where millions of gallons of water a week and a day, even in many cases, pours into California. When trees fall down after
1 minute,
a short period of time, about 18 months, they become very dry. They become really like a matchstick. And they get up, there's no more water pouring through. And they become very, they just explode. They can explode. Also, leaves. When you have years of leaves, dried leaves on the ground, it just sets it up. It's really a fuel for a fire.
Yes, Donald. Leaves and wood are fuel for fire. That's been known since Neanderthals.
Also, I think he just learned that matchsticks are made from wood, which comes from trees, because he keeps mentioning matchsticks.
But this guy's like, they need to manage the floor better. He even was like, I was on a call
20 years of leaves? What does that mean? That's not how
nature works. Who are we going to hire? Who are we going to hire to go out and rake the forest? Oh. I feel like I have brain damage right now talking about this.
I feel like that would be a perfect use for their new slave labor force.
Yeah,
it all makes sense. Trump has a concept of a plan. We just have to let it play out.
This is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. Oh my god. Okay, enough about
fascinating. Truly,
enough about water, because
about water.
But here we also have what else has he done this week? Jesus Christ, it's been a long week.
Dude, you want me to? This is just funny though.
Please, yes, please.
So here, the Democratic Party thinks it's running against Bob Dole and Mitt Romney instead of Donald Trump Jr. and his MAGA coalition. It's very true, okay? Because look at what they respond. That Donald Trump is putting together an administration focused on Wall Street, not Main Street. So I want to depart from Trump's first week for 1 second and point out that even after the 2024 election, the Democratic messaging, not from all, but from the main party, is that we really need to extend a hand across the aisle and work for the best of the American people. Why can't they just, instead of saying that bullshit, just respond with one of his words, something he said, point out what an absolute destructive force Donald Trump is. So I don't get it.
Really?
The shushing has got to stop. And I don't know why anyone's even bothering anymore when they talk to the regular media, when they talk to the who in the Democratic leadership is steering this, because I don't know who it is anymore.
I know. It seems like all the older ones have been silent, and then like people like AOC and Jasmine Crawford are left
but then
fight
why
for
aren't
everybody.
they giving these? They should be giving these responses, not some suit.
And then you got Senator John Fetterman, who apparently now thinks he's a MAGA Republican. He was the only Democratic senator not to condemn the pardoning of the J6ers.
Like, come on.
Like, dude, I voted for that guy.
Well, Schumer, how about this?
They made fun of him when he had a stroke. They made fun of him.
They don't care. Why? What I want to know is why any single Democrat voted to confirm any Trump nominee. Because they did. Not all of them, but some of them did. Chuck Schumer did. John Fetterman did. What are you doing? Again, even if you thought they were good, it proves that the Democratic Party has no concept of political unity.
No.
The Republicans vote as a bloc, except for the ones that are trying to make a stand, and they'll just get primaried. But Democrats are always like, no, we'll just, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine.
You know what?
What's happening is not fine. Americans are seeing it, and it's not fine.
No, I mean, I am tired of decorum. We're dealing with actual Nazis. Decorum is not going to work.
You don't stand on protocol.
You
don't keep your elbows off the table when you're dealing with fascists, okay? You don't make sure you use the salad fork at the appropriate time when you're dealing with fascists. You deal with fascists by calling them out and not relenting.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how you deal with fascists. Out
the fact that Donald Trump was nice enough to release the JFK files, the RFK files, the MLK files. But for some reason, I wonder what it is, he's not going to release. Where are the Epstein files, dude?
That's
Where
weird.
are the Epstein files?
I thought he was the president.
Yeah, if I was a Democrat, I'd be on the floor every day and be like, you guys elected and are following somebody who's been accused of, allegedly, for legal reasons, of being a raging pedo. That's what I would be doing. I'd be on the news every day going, this is disgusting. How could you possibly support somebody who allegedly, possibly did nasty things with underage girls? Allegedly.
All you need to know, now I know logic is difficult for a lot of people that voted for Trump, but just try and follow me here. If you have unilateral power to declassify anything you want, and you choose to declassify JFK and Martin Luther King, which, by the way, if there was anything in it, we'd know, because clearly there was nothing in it. If you had that power, and you, as you say, Bill Clinton's on that list, all these Democrats are on that list, and you're not on that list, knowing Donald Trump, wouldn't he want that out there?
You would think so, because he hates the Clintons. I mean,
wouldn't he want to embarrass the Democrats? Wouldn't he want to just squish the last nail in the coffin of democracy by destroying the Democratic Party?
You would think so.
But no.
You would think so.
But he didn't.
Right. And just a reminder, I have a video of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein partying it up because they were best friends. And the sad part about it all is Jeffrey Epstein broke off the friendship with Donald Trump because he said Donald Trump was a shit person. The guy who owned an island, who went to jail for trafficking underage girls, said Donald Trump was a shit person. What are we even doing in this world? Like, I honestly feel like we've like smashed into some universe filled with complete idiots that run everything. And this is the reality we live in now. But here's just a reminder, they're best friends.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly
Did you see
what
that
they
proto
say
face
is
sticking
difficult
move
to
he did?
understand as they
Yep,
discuss
I did.
the women and their appearances. Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
I was not a
Yeah, I know Fetterman went down. That fucking piece of shit. He's just, yeah, that pisses me off more than anything. But yeah, no, just again, a reminder that those were friends. Those were not just acquaintances. Those are buddies that did nasty things together. Yeah, but yeah, Fetterman, the whole Fetterman thing pisses me off because when he had a stroke, like we were all supportive of him. We all supported him while he was going through that. And they were the ones that said that he shouldn't be allowed to run, that he's mentally incapable of holding office, that he can't talk because of his stroke. And now it's like Snoop Dogg. Like, this is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing.
Some people choose their loyalties based on different things. And if we go back to what Donald Trump has done this week, his first week, applications for the federal government are now being applicants are now being asked to prove when they had their moment of MAGA revelation. Career civil servants are being interrogated about who they voted for, and that is literally the core tenet of Project 2025, which was, as many people covered and was publicly available, and no one frickin' listened to it. Was to identify people in the federal government, people who just do their jobs by being like file clerks, accountants, all those
just
people.
normal people, man.
Civil servants like the people that work at the DMV who might someday choose whether or not a brown person's allowed to have a license. I don't know. But what he did is he wants people who will do what he says because he learned from his first term, which is he had too many people that were going to stand up to him because they had a shred of morality left. He doesn't want that anymore. And Project 2025 was there to help him. And another way they're doing it is through their actions directly. The notion of independent federal agencies or federal employees who don't answer to the president violates the very foundation of our democratic republic. Heritage President Kevin Roberts argues, Project 2025 seeks to place the federal government's entire executive branch under direct presidential control, eliminating the independence of the Department of Justice, the FBI, and Federal Communications Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, and other agencies. The plan is based on Project 2025, proposes reclassifying tens of thousands of civil servants working as political appointees in order to replace them with Trump loyalists. And what did he announce today? That they are going to offer millions of federal employees severance packages for them to just walk away from their jobs. Now, how do you think they're going to keep the government running? Oh, all that pre-screening of MAGA loyalists and Trump loyalists that are going to be ready to have jobs. Now you see, Project 2025 was always the plan.
Right.
How many more ways do you need to see it?
He's talking about sending everybody from the IRS down to the border to secure the border.
Like,
what? If that's the case, I'm not filing my taxes this year. Eat shit. Well, if there's not going to be anybody at the IRS, I say a few million of us just don't. We're not going to get a tax refund this year because of his new policies. Actually, Mike has information on Donald Trump's new tax policy.
No, his tax policy was released.
Gets better and better.
And I don't know. I remember one of the things that I loved most about Donald Trump when I chose to vote for him was that he promised that average Americans would not see their taxes rise. And I just appreciate his honesty. And that's what a lot of MAGA people are going to say until they find out that his tax policy raises taxes on everyone that makes less than $360,000 a year. Now, I don't make $360,000 a year. The person who owns your business you work for might not even make $360,000 a year. But for everyone above that, their taxes are going to go down. While you and me, Jeremy, everyone watching today, our taxes are going to go up. MAGA, your taxes are going to go up.
Uh-huh.
More
it just gets
first
worse and
week
worse, doesn't it?
campaign lies. What else did he do? Well, I think we mentioned earlier illegal firings of inspectors general, which, by the way, are the people who are in charge of making sure the government doesn't become a corrupt monstrosity. Trump fires inspectors general for more than a dozen federal agencies. Ooh, wait a minute. That's illegal. The firings have prompted concern from some GOP senators, including Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley of Iowa, a known watchdog for inspectors general, who said Congress wasn't given the 30 days notice from the White House required by federal law. There it is. End of story. He broke the law. What I do understand is that it is relatively unprecedented in that there was no choice, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska said, adding, I can understand why a new president coming in would want to look critically at the IGs and the role that they have played within the various agencies. But the summary dismissal of everybody, I think, raises concerns. What else? Well, partly in reaction to Trump's last IG firings, Congress built new guardrails intended to protect them. A 2022 law requires the White House to provide substantive rationale for terminating any inspector general. Because after his first term, when he acted like a mini dictator, they were like, you can't just fire everyone so that no one knows you're a corrupt piece of shit. Now he's doing it, except that he can't. All of the blue states, their attorneys general have filed lawsuits to stop this. None of the red state ones have done that. And a federal judge has already said, no, this isn't going into effect until we can figure it out in court.
Yeah, I don't. This is crazy.
He's a dictator day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, here's the problem. On day 8, he wasn't a dictator because on Monday, he spent the day playing golf. The guy could not spend 8 consecutive days working hard for the American people. Had to play golf in his golf club.
In Florida, too. He couldn't golf in D.C. I guess there's no golf.
Well, because
it's too cold out. Oh, it's so chilly in Washington. He had to go back to Florida. Such a big, tough guy.
He had to charge the federal agents protecting him staying at his golf course. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let me play this video. Well, you just reminded me of something. But this, all right. So people that don't know, if you go to Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Golf Club and Donald Trump walks into the room, you have to stand up and clap. I'm not even lying. This is straight up the truth. Donald Trump is such a big baby that when he walks into the room, people have to stand up and clap for him. And then when he sits down, he has to be seated at a table that is above everybody else. But here's just a clip of people just randomly clap. He's not doing anything, but people are just, oh, no, oh, Mr. Trump, President Trump.
Wow.
Woo! Oh, look, it's whatever, dude. This is so pathetic. This is so pathetic. And you thought, okay, oh my God, you gotta. Oh, but that reminded me, he also pulled security details from a slew of people, including Dr. Fauci.
Wow.
I can't remember who else. There was 3 or 4 or 5 people, and these people that have they've had legitimate death. The reason they have security details is Iran is trying to assassinate them and shit, crazy stuff.
But here's the thing: Dr. Fauci has security detail because Donald Trump's followers threatened to kill him because Donald Trump said that he was a liar and manipulating data because he was a bad man. Right. So he just removed the security detail required because of him.
They want Dr. Fauci in prison.
They want Dr. Fauci dead.
That's why Joe Biden pardoned all these people, because he knew they're going to be targets. They literally don't. I mean, Dr. Fauci saved countless lives with what he did. Donald Trump is the reason all these people probably died from his mishandling of everything. But
Over 1 million Americans died because he said it would be over like a miracle and not to take the vaccine that he took credit for. We don't talk about that, right? We don't talk about January 6th.
Apparently, and I don't have any way of verifying this, but I've heard it multiple times now, they're actually trying to scrub J6 stuff off the internet.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but if you think it could get dumber, I mean, the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing is extremely dumb, but apparently Anna Paulina Luna, another person who I have no idea how she got to this point in her life, Florida Republican Anna Paulina Lunabin is filing a legislation this week to add Trump's face to Mount Rushmore. What are we waiting on? Donald Trump's face should be on Mount Rushmore. We've got the votes. Trump's going to sign it. Duh. Of course he would. Let's get it done to memorialize what this man's achieved for this country. So far, in 1 week, he has achieved in crushing the lives and putting fear. Like, we don't even know if we're able to get medication now. We don't know if we're going to be able to buy food. Food's getting more expensive. Medication's getting more expensive. Gas is getting more expensive. And then they take away our ability to buy food and insurance to pay for medication. Make it make sense. How is this helping us?
I would love to make it about Donald Trump and the Republican Party's sadistic disdain for trans people, their hate for the LGBTQ community, their hate for black people, their hate for women, their hate for brown people, their hate for poor people, the hate that they have for everyone that isn't staring at them in the mirror. But that didn't work to stop Donald Trump from getting elected. And if you can't see how what he has done in his first week and the beginning of this week so far, there's something wrong with you, because he's not doing anything to help you. He has not passed one executive order to help you in any way. You're not $1 saved, not 1 minute of your time easier, not one bit of your health less worried.
No.
He's done nothing but to help rich people, help bigots, and help himself.
Yeah, and make our lives a living hell in the same time. So I know a lot of people, this is what I told my mom. This is the part I worry about, because when people start going hungry, that's when shit hits the fan. That's when murders start going up.
You thought food lines were bad during COVID when we had to deal with that because Donald Trump couldn't handle an economy under stress. Wait till there is no food. Because guess what? All those farm workers that you want deported, ICE didn't get to them yet. They just stopped showing up because, you know what? The fear worked. They're all gone. They scattered. Well, guess what? Harvests are rotting in the fields right now because you, MAGA, aren't signing up to go do that job for $5 an hour because you voted for your racism. You did not vote for your well-being, your best interest. You did this to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was hard not, man, just seeing Trump signs in people's yards today as I was working after I found out I no longer have health insurance. Which apparently, I mean, obviously it's illegal, according to a couple of lawyers that I watched the podcast of. It's going to get blocked.
Look,
but with the Supreme Court, who the hell knows these days, man?
I think a good way to put emphasis on Donald Trump's first week is not from something Donald Trump said, although he supports this. We know he wants to get birthright citizenship eradicated from the Constitution. Well, I forget who it was. I lean towards it might have been at the first press conference today from his new goofy press secretary, but I don't remember who it was, so don't quote me on that. But the statement was that the 14th Amendment to the Constitution should be gotten rid of because it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, it sounds like something Trump press secretary would say.
How does that work?
They're questioning birthright citizenship of Native Americans. Did you know that? Where the fuck are you going to send them to, dipshit? I mean, when I read, like, some of the stuff we read, when you read this shit, you're like, this can't be true. This is idiotic. And then you look it up. You're like, oh, my God.
Think about it. In 1,000 years, you will not be able to convince historians that The Onion was ever satire, because we have now come to a point where nothing The Onion can do is more ridiculous than what's coming out every hour from the White House. And again, this is all meant to terrify us, confuse us. Our brains cannot process all of this. The fear reaction is up for all of us, but we cannot stop. We cannot let them win. We cannot shut up. Do not let them shut you up. Keep talking. Tell anyone that'll listen. Show them what is going on. Pass along all this information. Don't just share our content. Share facts that you find on your own. Check them. Pass them along. Send them to everyone you know, because that information is going to become scarce and precious. And that is how they win. If they stop our information, they stop it. All of it.
Right. They want us to be compliant. That's how they win. You're absolutely right, Mike. They want us to just lay down and take this, and it's not going to happen. It's not in our DNA. And we're supposed to be fighters. We don't bow down to this shit. Come on. But I do want to say, though, one last thing. There's one last piece of the puzzle for Donald Trump to grab absolute power, and that's the Insurrection Act. So if you participate in any protests, and I'm worried more about MAGA freaking the fuck out because he just cut off all their benefits and doing something violent.
Yeah, well, they might
using them as an example.
How funny would that be? The ultimate stab in the back.
I know, but if you do participate in any protests, do not get violent.
You can't because
they want you to.
That's what this is. This is to get violent. No, let me rephrase that. We're going to have massive protests for all of this. That's why he's blitzkrieging the crap out of us, because he wants us so terrified that we have no choice but to take to the streets. And even if not one protester throws a single rubber band at a cop, he's still going to terrify everyone due to the lack of information through regular media. He's going to call the Insurrection Act. So he knows all he needs is a few people in the streets in a few cities, and he's going to do it. But do not fight him that way. Do not fight anyone that way.
No.
Maybe we will have to at some point, but right now, that is not the point. So just keep the information going.
Right. Violence is never the answer until it is. But now's not the time.
No fascist regime has ever just given up power.
No, and if you guys think this is for 4 years, you are gaslighting yourself. There's no way they're handing over power in 4 years.
And their goal is not to hand over power ever, because again, this isn't Donald Trump. They will use Donald Trump and his gross, creepy, slimy, oily spawn all the way through Barron to keep putting emperors and a hereditary title in name only,
right,
to run us while they make us what they want us. There are forces at play that are stronger than Donald Trump because he is a tool, but he is a dangerous tool that they have learned to control by letting him do whatever he wants because no one's going to stop him.
Right. So yeah, it's going to be a rough ride. And it's just been 1 week. Jesus. Anyway, that's all we have for today. Can't wait to see what happens next week. Join us again on Sunday. We'll be talking about the news cycle is starting to go extremely fast, so I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about. Hopefully some good news, but yeah. If you like what we had to say today, please subscribe. We're having trouble getting views, even though we have plenty of subscribers. We're still having trouble getting views.
And a wonderful community that we freaking love and appreciate.
So if you guys could share the video on other platforms, share it with your friends. It helps us with the algorithm and all that stuff. We do have plenty of ways you guys can also support us with the different. I don't even honestly, because this has never really been about money for me and Mike. So I honestly don't know what the YouTube stuff is. As far, I should probably look into it. But also, if you'd like to donate,
that's not our main goal.
If you'd like to donate, we do also have to, because we're trying to build like an actual studio. So we do have a GoFundMe link in the description. If you don't like GoFundMe, because somebody mentioned in the last episode that they don't like the GoFundMe fees, I do have my Cash App in there as well.
Okay,
I think
cool.
Mike
I forgot.
Venmo.
I have to add my Venmo. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll get Mike's Venmo on there as well, just to give everybody some different options if you'd like to help us out. If not, though, please just subscribe,
like, and share. And you know what?
Totally free.
Show up to our lives. We love doing them. It keeps us going. It really does. And we want to provide that community for everyone because it's going to get shitty. So just keep hanging in there, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, just keep your heads up, man. Keep your heads up. We got a lot of fighting us, and I don't think this is gonna. This is not how we end. I refuse.
Thank you, 51st State.
This is how we end. Yeah, thank you. Are you adopting any 47-year-old dudes? I need a sponsor.
That's great. I love that.
I don't know if he saw the beginning of the show, but I was
he's
housebroken.
He's housebroken. He's hardworking. He has a good moral compass.
Yep, I'm funny sometimes. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic. We love you all. Like I said, Mike and I are going to keep going, and we understand the consequences. We understand the consequences of what we're doing. We're not stupid, okay? And I even told Mike today, like, this is going to get real. So if you don't want any part of this, man, you got to let me know right now, because I'm all in, because Donald Trump is literally taking food off of my table. I don't have anything else to lose. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, we love you all. Like Mike said, we really appreciate all your support. We love our community that we've built. We'll be back on Sunday. And we're going to do 2 lives a week now because one with my new job, I don't have time to edit. Plus, the lives are more fun because we get to interact with you guys. The recordings are just kind of boring, I think, anyway. So, thank you so much.
I think we do our best in our lives, and you help bring that out. So, we'll see you Sunday, and thank you.
Yep, we love you all. Have a good rest of your night, and I'm going to bed because I worked a 10-hour shift this morning today. Have a good rest of your day. Love you all.